All right, so let me explain what we're looking at, and then we'll move forward and actually make some decisions based upon this data. So first of all, we have a graph here, and this is showing the average monthly searches for the last 12 months for all the keywords that Google returned in response to our phrase buy umbrellas. So you can see, at least according to this data, in say January of 2015, that was the least popular month for umbrellas in the last 12 months. And then in May, it was a lot more popular. So that's an interesting data to look at. And you can definitely see that there's a lot of seasonality that goes on in the search engine world. Over here, we still have the targeting that we just selected. All that is what we selected on the previous page. This over here on the right is our plan. They call it our keyword plan, which I just talked about. And what we're going to do is look at these keyword recommendations over here in the middle and add them to our plan. And then once we are happy with what our plan looks like, we'll go ahead and move forward and look at some better estimates based upon that plan as a whole. So you can see here there are two options. We have ad group ideas and keyword ideas. And what Google does is it looks at the keyword that we put in there, buy umbrellas, and it collates ad groups based upon that. So it looks for phrases or words that all the phrases would share, and it tries to put them together into groups to kind of help you, see different types of keywords. So, for example, best umbrella or clear umbrella or outdoor umbrellas. Let's go ahead and click on best umbrella. Take a look. So you can see here it gives you a list of keywords, and all of these have something to do with being a best umbrella. Lots of different variations of that. So you can see right here under average monthly searches, it shows what the average monthly search volume is. So it tells you approximately how popular this search term is, or how many people are searching for on a monthly basis. This here tells you, or purports to tell you, what the competition is. I don't have a lot of confidence in that number, but it can be a helpful guide in some areas. Then over here we have suggested bid, and this this is where Google can be very misleading. Not purposefully, not that I'm aware of, but typically when you look in the keyword planner, the suggested bids are going to be a lot lower than what you're actually going to pay. And then in some cases, they could be a lot higher. Honestly, it's all over the board, and I don't have much confidence in these numbers. They can be helpful as kind of a range. So if I see one keyword has a $5 suggested bid and one keyword has a 30-cent suggested bid, well, that tells me that the $5 keyword is going to be a lot more expensive. Not necessarily $5, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. And then over here, we have the option to add to plan. So we could add any of these single keywords to our plan over here, or we could go back and add the entire ad group to our plan. Now, best umbrellas, I don't really want to target that because that's people, some of those people could be searching to buy an umbrella, definitely. Others might just be doing some research. What I want to look at right now is the most buying intent related keywords. So people who clearly want to buy an umbrella. And hey, look at this. Buy online. That looks very intriguing. Let's click in here. So all these keywords here have to do with buying umbrellas online, which is exactly what I want. Now there's not a lot of search volume. I think there's 170 average monthly searches, so not much search volume. But I will go ahead and click the blue button over here and add that to my plan. All right, and then let's look through here. Let's go back up to the top. You've got different types of umbrellas. Okay, we've got umbrella shop. Well, that people who are shopping or looking for a shop obviously are interested in purchasing something, so that looks very relevant. And take a look through those. And I'm going to go ahead and add this entire ad group by clicking this button up here. It's another way to add the whole ad group. Now let's say that there were a couple keywords in there that I did not want to use. There's a way to easily remove those. If you go over here in the plan, this is the ad group we just added. It's called Umbrella Shop. And click here on that magnifying glass icon. And let's say I don't want to target John's Umbrella Online Shopping. Just click the X box, or the X mark, and boom, it's gone. We'll close that, and then go back to the main interface over here. All right, so if I was doing this for a real campaign, I would look for all of the most relevant keywords that pertain to someone wanting to buy an umbrella, and I'd add those to the plan. Another way that you can easily get to some data is click on keyword ideas. You can see this here is a keyword that we entered, so let's go ahead and add that to our plan. Obviously, we want that. It's only got 50 average monthly searches, so it's not a lot of people searching for it, according to this, but we want it in there. All right, then you can see umbrella by itself would have 450,000 average monthly searches. So there's a lot of people searching for umbrella or umbrellas. That's the next most popular one down there. Actually, let's sort this. And okay, actually, patio umbrellas is the next most popular one, which is very interesting. And you can see that patio umbrellas are a lot more expensive on a CPC side than just umbrella. And that's probably because someone looking for a patio umbrella, first of all, they are probably a little bit further on in the buying funnel than someone just looking for umbrella because they're being more specific. And also, patio umbrellas cost a lot more than just a normal small umbrella. So that click is going to be worth more to those advertisers. And we can just scroll down here. You can sort by whatever you want to sort by. You can sort by relevance, which is a good way to sort things right there. And this tells you the keywords that Google thinks are most relevant to what we typed in up there. So let's just go ahead and create a new ad group over here in our plan. And let's call it MISC for miscellaneous. And then let's just go ahead and add a couple of these in here just for an example purposes. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see that the number over here increases as we add more keywords. That tells you how many keywords are in the ad group. All right, don't worry about this data right here. This is not going to be relevant. We're going to change things in our next step. So now that we've done this, we've built kind of a sample plan over here. Let's go ahead and review the plan. And it takes us to an entirely new page. So once again, there's a lot of options over here. It can be a little confusing at first, but bear with me. We'll figure it all out. So first of all, Google gives you the option to enter a bid, also to enter a daily budget. Now the purpose of the bid is to increase or decrease this slider. And you can see when I set that slider up there, it automatically enters that bid right there. So basically, Google is estimating how many impressions and how many clicks you can get based upon what your max CPC is, because your max CPC is going to directly affect your average position, which affects your click-through rate and impressions and etc. Now, an average bid of 21 cents is very, very low for most industries. And this is an area where I don't trust Google that I could actually get that many clicks for 21 cents. I don't think I could. So often I'll just go ahead and kind of set a higher bid just to get a sense for how many impressions Google is saying that there are out there. And then I can make my own estimates based upon that. All right, so down here you can see the list of ad groups that we created and also the total. So Google is estimating 92,000 impressions. Now, what date range are we talking about? That's obviously pretty important. Over here is where we can select the date range. So right now it's based on the next 7 days. And you can do a custom time period, or you can select one of these predetermined options. And typically I do month, just because I like that having a month is easy to work with. And typically clients work with monthly budgets, want monthly forecasts, so it's a good option to use. And then what forecast should we base that on? So basically Google is saying, there's the different levels of search volume throughout the year. During what part of the year should we base this estimate upon? Well, I want a month, so I'm just going to say, let's go for another month here. January 17th to, let's say, February 16th, and save that. All right, and you can see now that we're going for a full month, obviously we have a lot more impressions down here compared to 7 days. So Google is estimating 2.9 million impressions during the next 30 days. There are also some other estimates that I have less confidence in. you can see CTR, which is click-through rate. That is the next most important estimate. It's very low right here. It's 0.2%. Typically, when I do estimates, I just say, hey, the benchmark CTR is 1%. So if I had X number of impressions, if I had 2.9 million impressions, and I had a 1% CTR, how many clicks would I have? And I would calculate that. And then I wouldn't worry about average position because I don't trust Google. That Google's going to tell me that the average position is probably a lot better than it will be in reality. It's kind of sad to say, but that's what I've found from working with dozens and dozens of accounts. And then cost is just the number of clicks times the average CPC. Average CPC, which is pretty vital, which is really what we're trying to figure out here, is once again something I don't have a lot of confidence in. I typically look at what Google gives, or what the data they give, and make some of my own estimates based upon that. So in this case, I would look at this and I would say, all right, umbrellas, probably a lot of competition, although it's not a high price point. A lot of traffic out there. What kind of CPC could we get? In this scenario, $1.92 might not be that far off. I would probably say, in the $1.50 to $2 range, average CPC. That's a very ballpark number. It's going to change depending upon our bidding strategy and lots of different variables that we can't control. But you can see if I had the slider set down to 15 cents, Google would estimate an average CPC of 11 cents and still getting 2,700 clicks, which I don't think would happen. So this is the ad group view. You can also do the same thing for keywords. And I recommend once you create a plan, go to this keywords tab and sort by clicks in descending order. So the most clicks at the top. And this is a good way to see if there are any really broad keywords that might be skewing your data. Like if I had something in here like, I don't know what a good example would be, but something that obviously was not relevant, maybe I missed it while I was adding the keywords, then I would click that checkbox there, go up to edit, and I would delete that selected keyword, and it would readjust the totals in real time. There we go. Then I would go over here to device. This can be helpful as well. This gives you an estimate of how many impressions there are per device. So obviously we've got a lot going on in desktop, far more in desktop than mobile, and then not a lot going on for tablet comparatively. You can also go up here to location, and you can get a sense for some of the different areas within your targeting area and what amount of impressions or clicks, whatever, they would have there. So in this example, California as a state within the United States would have the most search traffic, and then Florida, Texas, etc., and then other states are kind of lumped together at the bottom. Or you can scroll down here and see every state individually. And if I had selected a tighter targeting option, such as instead of going after the United States, if I'd selected a state, then Google would give me this data regarding areas within that state, probably cities. Those are the 4 options up here. Let me make sure I'm not explaining anything here. You can change match types if you want. Broad exact phrase. Typically I just use broad and just kind of the default settings, just because all this data is very broad anyway, and I find that to be the easiest way to work with it. And then you could change bids for specific ad groups, or merge ad groups if you want to test doing some stuff with that down here. And you can do the same thing on the keyword level, and you can also estimate what would happen if you added a mobile bid adjustment. So for example, say we decreased it by 100% because we don't want us to advertise on mobile devices. If we didn't, then that would update and change our totals accordingly. Alright, so that's pretty much a pretty good overview, I think, of how to use the keyword planner. And sadly, like I've indicated, some of it just comes down to your gut and having an understanding of the platform, which obviously as a new advertiser yourself probably you don't have, and it can be kind of tough. I get it, just to figure out, just to create estimates that have anywhere near a level of accuracy. It's really hard sometimes even for professionals. But these are the best tools that we have to work with, and so do the best you can. And if you want to go back to that search area where we were and add some more keywords, you can click back to search. Or if you like that plan and you want to go with that plan, you can actually save it to your account by clicking this blue button right here, and it'll save you some time. Actually save it to your account as campaigns or ad groups, and that's a handy feature. And let's see, anything else that we should discuss here? Nope. I think that does it. Oh, yes, one more thing. So let's say that we took a break from doing this and went back to our AdWords account. Google will hang on to this plan, and it will give us the option to resume it or to get rid of it next time we go to Keyword Planner. So let's let this load here and go to Keyword Planner. And hopefully it will load up. Here we go. It's taking its time. But once it loads up, here we go. We have this box pop up here. So if we click the blue resume button, it'll take us back to where we were. Or if we click start over, then all of our work is gone. So don't click that unless you want to redo all of your work. And that's it.